The 7 levels of naval power. Explained. 11 United States supercarriers control every ocean on Earth. But in 2006, a Chinese submarine surfaced 5 miles from one undetected. In 2025, Iran swarmed another with drone boats. And right now, China has a hypersonic missile specifically designed to sink them in 30 seconds. One of these levels is already obsolete. You just don't know it yet. Level 1. The Coast Guard Cutter. This is territorial enforcement. You are 3,000 tons of displacement, with a 76mm deck gun, a helicopter pad, and the legal authority to board any vessel within 200 nautical miles of your coastline. You don't project power, you enforce sovereignty. Your mission is drug interdiction, search and rescue, and making sure fishing trawlers respect the exclusive economic zone. The United States Coast Guard seizes 200,000 pounds of cocaine per year in the Eastern Pacific. Not because they have advanced weapons, they have a single medium caliber gun. Because they have jurisdiction. A Coast Guard cutter can stop, board, and arrest the crew of a $40 million narco submarine. The submarine can't shoot back without committing an act of war. If a naval frigate decides your jurisdiction doesn't matter, you have no answer. You are law enforcement, not a warship. Your gun can sink a fishing boat. It cannot sink a destroyer. March 2021, a Chinese Coast Guard cutter rams a Philippine supply vessel 135 miles from the Philippine coast, inside Philippine territorial waters. The Philippine cutter has a crew of 30 and one deck gun. The Chinese cutter displaces 12,000 tons, has water cannons, and is backed by the People's Liberation Army Navy 40 miles away. The Philippine vessel retreats. That's level 1. Level 2. The Corvette. This is brown water dominance. You are 2,500 tons with anti-ship missiles, a 3-inch naval gun, torpedoes, and a top speed of 32 knots. You operate in littoral zones, harbors, straits, river deltas where deep draft warships can't go. You are designed to sink landing craft, destroy patrol boats, and lay mines in shallow water. You don't cross oceans. You defend coastlines. Israel's Sa'ar-class corvettes carry 8 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. In 1973, during the Yom Kippur War, Israeli corvettes sank 5 Syrian missile boats off Latakia without taking a single hit. Not because they had better armor. Corvettes have almost no armor. Because they had better electronic warfare. Syrian missiles were jammed. Israeli missiles weren't. You have a range of 2,500 nautical miles. A supercarrier has a range of unlimited. It's nuclear powered. You can dominate a coastline. You cannot dominate an ocean. If you venture into blue water, a submarine will find you, and you have no deep water anti-submarine warfare capability. October 1967. Egyptian missile boats attacked the Israeli destroyer INS Eilat off Port Said. The Eilat is a World War II-era destroyer, outdated, slow, designed for gun duels. The Egyptians fire 4 Styx anti-ship missiles from 17 miles away. All 4 hit. The Eilat sinks in 2 hours. 47 Israeli sailors die. It is the first time in history a ship is sunk by missiles fired from another ship. The age of the gun is over. That's level 2. Level 3. The Frigate. This is blue water patrol. You are 5,000 tons with vertical launch systems, anti-air missiles, anti-submarine torpedoes, a towed sonar array, and a hangar for 2 helicopters. You can hunt submarines. You can shoot down aircraft. You can escort convoys across oceans. You are the workhorse of any navy that can't afford destroyers. The British Type 23 frigate HMS Argyll tracked a Russian Akula-class submarine through the North Atlantic for 6 days in 2020. The submarine was nuclear-powered, could dive to 1,800 feet, and was designed to be undetectable. The Argylle's sonar found it anyway. Not because British sonar is better than Russian stealth. Russian submarines are among the quietest in the world. Because the Argyll had time, persistence, and a towed array that listened for 96 hours straight. You cost $500 million. You carry 32 missiles. A destroyer costs $2 billion and carries 96 missiles. If you encounter a modern destroyer in a shooting war, you fire everything you have and pray. You cannot win a missile duel against a ship with 3 times your magazine depth. Level 4. The Destroyer. This is Fleet Air Defense. You are 9,000 tons with the Aegis Combat System, 96 vertical launch cells, SM-2 and SM-6 air defense missiles, Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles, anti-submarine rockets, and a phased array radar that can track 100 targets simultaneously at 200 miles. You are the shield of the carrier strike group. You shoot down the missiles before they reach the carrier. You are the reason carrier groups haven't been sunk since 1945. But here's the problem. Level 4 has never been tested in a near-peer conflict. The last time a United States Navy destroyer fought a modern anti-ship missile was 1988. The USS Vincennes, a Ticonderoga-class cruiser, shot down 2 Iranian 4 Phantoms in the Persian Gulf. The Iranians fired 0 anti-ship missiles in return. Every engagement since then has been asymmetric destroyers versus speedboats, destroyers versus land targets, destroyers versus ballistic missiles fired by militias. No destroyer has faced a saturation attack from a peer adversary with hypersonic missiles, submarine-launched torpedoes, and coordinated drone swarms, which means we don't actually know if Level 4 works. In 2016, the USS Mason, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, was targeted by 2 anti-ship cruise missiles fired by Houthi rebels off the coast of Yemen. The Mason's Aegis system detected the missiles at 40 miles, calculated intercept solutions, and fired 2 SM-2 missiles and 1 evolved Sea Sparrow missile. Both incoming missiles were destroyed. Total engagement time, 90 seconds. The Mason suffered 0 damage. But those were subsonic cruise missiles from the 1980s. China's YJ-21 hypersonic anti-ship missile travels at Mach 10. The engagement window is not 90 seconds. It's 11 seconds. And the Aegis system was not designed to intercept hypersonic threats. You are the most advanced surface combatant in history until a hypersonic missile is fired at you? Then you have 11 seconds to decide if your radar is even tracking the right object. If you guess wrong, you die. April 1988, the USS Samuel B. Roberts, a frigate, hits an Iranian mine in the Persian Gulf. The explosion rips a 15-foot hole in the hull. The engine room floods. 10 sailors are injured. The ship is sinking. The crew has 20 minutes to save it. They run into the flooded compartments waist-deep in seawater. No lights, the bulkheads buckling, and manually seal the breach with wooden beams and mattresses. The pumps are offline. They use buckets. For 6 hours, they bail water by hand. The ship does not sink. That's Level 4. Level 5. The Nuclear Attack Submarine. This is invisible lethality. You are 7,800 tons submerged, with a nuclear reactor that lets you stay underwater for 6 months, 12 vertical launch tubes carrying Tomahawk cruise missiles, 4 torpedo tubes loaded with Mk-48 ADCAP torpedoes, and a top speed of 35 knots submerged faster than most surface ships. You don't fight on the surface, you hunt beneath it. Your mission is to sink enemy submarines, destroy surface ships, launch cruise missiles at land targets, and deploy special operations forces, all while remaining completely undetected. In 1982, during the Falklands War, the British nuclear submarine HMS Conqueror sank the Argentine cruiser ARA General Belgrano with 2 torpedoes. The Belgrano was outside the British declared exclusion zone. It was sailing away from the Falklands. The Conqueror fired anyway. The Belgrano sank in 44 minutes. 323 Argentine sailors died. Argentina's surface fleet never left port again for the rest of the war. You are invisible until you're not. Modern towed sonar arrays, maritime patrol aircraft with magnetic anomaly detectors, and anti-submarine helicopters with dipping sonar can find you. Once you're localized, you're hunted, and if you're trapped in shallow water, you're dead. October 2006, a Chinese Song-class diesel-electric submarine surfaces within 5 miles of the USS Kitty Hawk, a supercarrier, in the Pacific Ocean. The carrier's entire strike group destroyers, cruisers, helicopters never detected it. The submarine could have fired torpedoes and sunk the carrier before anyone knew it was there. It didn't. It surfaced, took photos, and submerged. The message was clear. Your carrier is vulnerable. That's level 5. Level 6. The ballistic missile submarine. This is second strike apocalypse. You are 18,750 tons, submerged with 24 Trident 2D5 ballistic missiles. Each missile carries up to 14 nuclear warheads. Each warhead has a yield of 475 kilotons. You patrol the ocean for 90 days at a time, staying deep, staying silent, waiting for the order that will never come unless it does. But here's the problem. Level 6 only works if the enemy believes you're still alive. In 2009, a British Vanguard-class ballistic missile submarine collided with a French Triomphant-class ballistic missile submarine in the Atlantic Ocean. Both were submerged. Both were on patrol. Both nations' nuclear command structures had no idea the collision happened until the submarine surfaced with damage. For 72 hours, 2 nuclear-armed submarines were unaccounted for, and nobody noticed. Which means the invincible deterrent can disappear, and the system designed to prevent nuclear war won't know it's gone. A single Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine carries 20 Trident, 2 missiles with 8 warheads each. That's 160 warheads. The entire nuclear arsenal of China is estimated at 500 warheads. One American submarine carries 1/3 of China's total strategic deterrent. You are the ultimate weapon, but you are also the ultimate target. If a peer adversary develops reliable anti-submarine warfare technology that can track ballistic missile submarines in real time, mutually assured destruction collapses. Because if they can find you, they can kill you before you launch. And if you can't launch, deterrence is dead. The USS Scorpion, a nuclear attack submarine, is ordered to divert from its course home and investigate Soviet naval activity near the Azores. The crew has been at sea for 96 days. They're tired. The submarine is overdue for maintenance. On May 22nd, the Scorpion transmits its last position report. It never arrives in port. The Navy searches for 5 months. In October, they find the wreckage 10,000 feet below the surface. All 99 crew members are dead. The cause of the sinking is still classified. That's level 6. Level 7. The Supercarrier Strike Group. This is mobile sovereign territory. You are 100,000 tons of nuclear-powered floating airbase, carrying 75 aircraft, escorted by 2 guided missile cruisers, 4 destroyers, 1 attack submarine, and a supply ship. You project more firepower than most nations' entire air forces. You can launch 150 sorties per day. You can strike targets 600 miles inland. You are not a ship. You are a geopolitical statement. We can park a military base anywhere in the world, and you cannot stop us. In 1996, China fired ballistic missiles into the Taiwan Strait to intimidate Taiwan before its first democratic election. President Clinton ordered 2 carrier strike groups, the USS Nimitz and USS Independence, to sail through the strait. China stopped firing. Taiwan held the election. The carriers didn't fire a shot. They didn't need to. Their presence was the weapon. You cost $13 billion to build and $5 million per day to operate. You require 6,000 crew members. You are visible from space. You cannot hide. And in 2026, you face a threat you were never designed to counter. The F-21D, China's carrier killer ballistic missile. It has a range of 1,500 kilometers. It travels at Mach 10 during terminal phase. Your Aegis destroyers have 30 seconds to intercept. If they miss, 6,000 sailors die. But you have never been sunk, not since World War II, not in Korea, not in Vietnam, not in Iraq, not in Afghanistan, not in Syria. Because the real weapon is not the carrier, it's the belief that the carrier is unsinkable. The moment a carrier is sunk, the entire architecture of American naval power collapses. Which is why the United States Navy spends $200 billion per year making sure that moment never comes. Persian Gulf, 2020. The USS Nimitz is on station. Iranian fast attack boats. Level 1 threats swarm the strike group. The destroyers track them. The helicopters hover. The Iranians get within 2 miles. They don't fire. They know if they do, they die. The Nimitz doesn't move. It doesn't need to. That's level 7. So what does this hierarchy tell us? That naval power isn't about the size of your ships anymore. It's about the systems that support them. A supercarrier is useless without destroyers to defend it. A destroyer is useless without satellites to guide its missiles. A submarine is useless without communication networks to receive targeting data. Here's why that matters. In December 2024, the United States Navy announced that future carrier strike groups will include 3 autonomous surface vessels and 2 underwater drones. The humans will command. The machines will fight. The carrier becomes the command node. The drones become the expendable firepower. But there's a problem. In April 2025, an autonomous Chinese naval drone collided with a Philippine fishing vessel in the South China Sea. The drone's AI misidentified the fishing boat as a military target. 3 fishermen died. China claimed it was a malfunction. The Philippines called it an act of war. The question was never answered. Who do you hold accountable when the algorithm makes the decision? Which means the question isn't, what is the ultimate naval power? The question is, when an autonomous warship sinks a civilian vessel, do you declare war on a country or on a line of code? This is the Echelon. Briefing concluded.